This one. Live. On me. Cheers, y'all. Happy Friday. We're going to continue the tradition of heading this over on our YouTube channel. So join us at Dundon Motorsports on YouTube. Dundon _ Motorsports, I think. Dundon Motorsports, no underscore. Okay, yeah, what he said. Dundon Motorsports. It's good that I know what our own addresses and shit are, because, you know, it's important for a business owner to know what the hell they're doing most of the time. So join us on YouTube. Jump on YouTube, open up your YouTube app. I know you have one. I know it's not open all the time like your Instagram app is, but you can open your YouTube app. Join us over there. We'll see you guys in 5. See you, boys. Bye. Mike who?
You said look at Jamie working. Who's that guy? Oh, that was you? Oh my god.
Asshole.
Yeah, he said, this is Facebook. So on Jamie's screen, can you make the comment section big and him small? Is that how he wants it? Or?
Yeah, I don't need to see myself. I need to be able to read shit, because even that is borderline. The text needs to be bigger, not the screen needs to be bigger. Yeah, it doesn't scale the text probably.
Zoom in on your computer.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly.
Try my what? No.
93652.
I thought you did. I don't even know what that means. Oh, maybe he meant the colors on the. Because it's purple, white. Oh. Yeah, that's what he meant.
That's right.
Larry says, "Oh, I want to talk Porsches with Jamie."
Who said that?
Larry.
Oh, I bet he does. Okay, fuck you, Telegram. Piss off.
10 watching before the stream has even started, dude. That's pretty good.
They're waiting. They know I'm gonna say some stupid shit.
You already are. You're already live.
Yeah, no, I say stupid shit anyway. So
Audio's already going.
you guys are getting some insight into what I might say when no one's listening. Remind me to talk about helping Ed go faster, because that's a good story. What you drinking, brother? What'd you get? What'd you pour?
What's the small one?
Yellowstone.
Same, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking. It's delicious. It's
Right
delicious.
there for
The bottle? Oh yeah, yeah. We need to. Let me clear. I got that, so I can fuck around with it all weekend and look at shit. So I got workday's done. Time to talk some shit. Oh, right on. What'd Ed say? I can't read that.
I ended having a pretty damn good day yesterday.
Yeah, it is a good story. It is a good story. He had a rough fucking morning. That's a rough morning for anybody. Can get rid of this to one side. Racy Navigator can get out the way. You can probably turn off now too. I don't think we need that. This is not a useful thing on the table. And this installment of Whiskey Friday brought to you by Yellowstone. I'm rehearsing for those of you already listening. Because, you know, we all need some practice. Could all use some practice. Oh, that's what it means for a login code on Telegram. How about that? Okay. Yeah, can't do that now. Hey, that's better. Yeah, my man.
There you go.
Now I can read. Perfect. That's too much. Go back. Jerk.
I can read that from here.
Yeah, it's like, that's perfect. Yeah. Now I can read the comments because the old man can actually see the screen. Hey, morning, RVA. How are you?
That's awesome. Morning.
Breakfast drinks. Porsche 911, Ed's car is the best done car. Ed's car is pretty legit. Ed's car is pretty legit. It's gonna get more legit. Yeah, let's go. We're ready. Hey! Welcome to Whiskey Friday, y'all. This installment of Whiskey Friday brought to you by Yellowstone 101. It is a small batch by Yellowstone. 101 proof, limited edition from 2022. I have made mine into a delicious chilled Manhattan with orange bitters because they're delicious. In case y'all wanted to drink what I'm drinking. Caleb, what you drinking?
I'm drinking on the Yellowstone.
Straight?
Yep.
Oh, he just
With ice.
straight on the rocks. My man. Audio is a bit low. Do I need to get low? Is the audio low?
Sounds okay on mine. You can crank the gain a little bit, Justin.
We're going to crank the gain and how do I say? Mic 3S. Tell me if it sounds better. Or turn up your phone. Are we getting better? Can you hear me now? How about now? Cheers. There we go. Shaka, brother. All right. So what's going on? What's going on? Let's bring up a picture of our beautiful GT4RS lab rat. And we'll get started. There we go. So we were pressing pretty hard here in the last 2 weeks to get this beautiful thing outfitted with all of our aero and suspension tuning to get back to the track, and we were successful. Now, the track day that we went to was a PCA day. Great day, great fun, great friends. That's Christian's car, 992 GT3. He doesn't have any of our parts on it yet, but he's kind of a run it stock guy anyway. So he's a racer and has race cars, and he has got a lot of shit going on. So that's fine. So 4RS, put the picture back, please. We got our splitter on the car. We got the wing on the car, swan neck wing. We got 3D printed examples of our dive planes on the car, and we took it out to the track. And the intention was just a shakedown. Let's see how the car feels. Let's see what it needs. Let's twist some knobbies on the MCS 3-ways, try and get an idea of where we kind of wanted the car. We also wanted to give our track brethren, I'm going to pull some of this cord up here and hold it with the bottle. There we go. Give some of our track brethren like Paul Blake, who is the chief driving instructor and chief quality control officer for Dundon Motorsports. If we make it and he can't break it, then neither can you. A chance to try and break the 4RS. You know what better way to see if the shit you made is worth a damn than let your buddies go out and drive your car. And also gather their feedback and twist the knobs so that more than one person's driving style is represented in how we tune the car. So the day was super fun. I had to bail a little early. Wife had some dental emergency that I had to go take care of. But everybody else had a good time. We're putting together a YouTube video in the same vein as our track review of when the car was stock, just to kind of show you guys the shenanigans. The actual results, we're going to wait until we're not running, and I didn't get to that part yet, we're not running the chicane because for this particular day, we were running the chicane on the Ridge Motorsports. What's up, Vin? Happy Friday. And that kind of skews the results to be able to compare them to what we did last time, which was no chicane. Let's see some simple things. Everybody went quicker in the sectors past the front straight. That's a great shot, Justin. That's a great shot. Everybody loved the look of the car. It's super aggressive now. It looks very RS, very race car. Sounds great. Christian made a great comment that I took to heart. All of the cars at the track that have Dundon exhaust on them, they have what he termed a signature Dundon sound, and you can tell without even looking at the track almost whose car it is going by. Paul's car, 992 GT3 Street Headers titanium muffler. It sounds like a Dundon car, but it sounds slightly different than Ed's car, Street Headers lifetime loud muffler on a 991.2 RS. It sounds a little different than Novan's 997.2 GT3RS, also Street Headers and a loud muffler. So that was really cool. And the one that really warmed my heart was the fact that he was saying sorry, I saw somebody about JCR on our live stream, so it kind of stopped me for a second. I'm like, what are we talking about JCR on Dundon's live stream? Selling it. Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that, Vin. Yes, you can sell JCR stuff by installing ours. A+. Where was I going? That the 4RS muffler and Street Headers continued the signature sound when compared to other Dundon GT3 exhausts. And that told me that we were exactly on point with what we're doing for the 4RS. So, super stoked for that. As far as an update goes, Charles has been working away on it. What's up, Vivek? The 4RS muffler, we are trying as best we can to not make this thing stupid expensive. So, not that we want to make it stupid expensive. We want to make it cheap so that you guys can all afford it and buy one, of course. No, Christian doesn't say that many times, does he? Shut up, Ed. I love you. It's very difficult to both speak something unrehearsed and read comments that are flying by at the same time. So I'm just gonna say that for y'all. So give me a break. Muffler cost. So what we're doing is Charles is going through and trying to redraw some of these components from a cost of manufacturing standpoint. Since we know what the design needs to be, we're playing with different ways to build the insides, both in steel and in titanium, so that it doesn't take 4 days to weld it. That's one consideration. And or two, the entire thing doesn't need to be 3D printed, which would be just stupid. So we're trying to find that middle ground, if you will. So, all right. What else? Since Ed's given me a good heckle, I think we can tell Ed's story from yesterday. So Ed is, I would say, relatively new to Porsche GT cardom. It's been a couple years. If you can throw the picture of Paul and Ed, there you go, perfect. So Ed is the RS in the back, a beautiful chalk Wysock car. The orange stripe down the middle says Dundon. He's got some Dundon bits on it. He is the current Dundon GT3RS Lab Rat, 991.2 GT3RS Lab Rat. And that essentially means that he has all of the parts that we make for that car currently are on his car. And with the intent so that he can experience them all, give us feedback on all of them. And we have a local car, local-ish car. He lives in Spokane or Idaho. That Eastern Washington-ish over there, not Western Washington over here. So we have a car that we can fuck with when necessary. Take to the track, run different tires, run different stuff that we might want to try and explore. Ed was unloading his car yesterday, and this is a good thing for most. Another good shot. That's great picture. And I think it's from the last time when we were, because that's me. We were changing Ed's, twisting some knobbies on the car. Ted drove the car and we wanted to change some things. So we did this again yesterday because Ed's getting faster and faster and faster learning the car. So as you progress in your driving, one suspension setup does not rule them all. You need to adapt, change some things, and kind of bob and weave. If you feel like the car isn't doing something one day, then get up there and twist some knobbies. And the thing that I love to be able to help guys to do is to understand what knobs do what. So I'll go through this and then I'll save the funny-ish, funny now, not so funny at the time story for the end. So we started the day, and Ed's been struggling with monitoring tire pressure and tire temps and these kinds of things, more from an excitement to just go out and drive the car. And the feedback loop is drive the car, immediately come in, check your tire pressures, bleed the tires down, make sure that you're ready for the next time, so that you're dialing them in and you're consistent. So that's one. Second one is, as you're making changes and as you're starting to go faster, you're going to move more and more G-load on the tire, and you might need to change your alignment settings. As you're going quicker, as you're moving more into the edges of the car, you might need to dial in a little bit more camber to have good tire wear. So we had just done a little bit of that. We changed some roll bar settings, which means that we needed to change some knobs. Happy Friday, Oris. What's up, brother? I had to leave, and I told him in the afternoon I would help him, and I had to bail at lunch. So we were texting back and forth, and essentially it was, Jamie, the front of the car still feels like it's pushing a little bit. What do we do? So if the front of the car doesn't have enough grip, there's a number of ways that you can go about doing it. Technically, it's sector analysis. You'd want to look at it. Is it corner entry, mid-corner, corner exit? Is it high speed, low speed? What are you doing when that's happening? Is it bank corner? Is it a corner that's falling away from you, increasing radius, blah, 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 blah. You can get very technical with it. But in general, you're trying to bring some traction, bring some weight on the nose, and hold it there for a little while. So bringing some weight on the nose, you're trying to get the car to pitch. Then you need to reduce the compression on the front, and you need to increase the rebound on the front so it'll actually stay there for a second. Allow that weight to be on the front tires for you to be able to turn or stop or whatever it is you want to do. So we took 2 clicks of compression out of the front for Ed. We gave 2 clicks of rebound in the front, told him to mind his temps, and he dropped 2 seconds, almost 2.5 seconds from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. So he went 153.5 at the chicane, which is like top 4 times of the day. There are other guys that were going 154, all very competent, very quick, and Ed was faster than them. So kudos to you, brother. Fantastic work. Glad that we could dial that in, and hopefully you know a little bit more next time what knobs to turn and not be afraid to turn them. Just important thing when you're people get very anxious about turning the knobs, and really turning knobs is just about writing it down. Turn the knob, make a note, come back, check to make sure that what you thought you turned the knob to, you actually turned the knob to, and if it made it better. If it made it better, fucking leave it. If it didn't, then put it back or change it more. The thing that we love about the MCS 3-ways that we sell and we develop platforms on, it's possible. That should have been much faster than 153.5, Roger. Because what's funny, I'll say this, I was going through lap times on the Race Navigator, and there's a couple of them that are way lower, and it's because it was capturing our outlap. As we're joining the track through the blend line, it was capturing that as your first lap. So you're not going through the chicane at all. Like I had a couple 151s in there, and I'm like, what the hell? I didn't go 151. Oh, right. Okay, I didn't go 151. So, yeah, I was so excited for the day. Yeah, that's no lie. You did. Did you get a picture of the trailer shenanigans?
I did not.
That's probably good. I'm sure Ed appreciates that we aren't using that for commercial use.
Not at all.
So we'll get to the funny, unfortunate, glad it got resolved part of this. So Ed got to the track. He got there first thing. He gave himself plenty of time, get the car off the trailer. Somebody distracted him one time. Then somebody came and distracted him again, and he forgot to put the ramps on the trailer before he started pulling the car off, got the car high centered. So that was unfortunate. Easy to do, easy for any of us. Yeah, I did. I'll send it to you. Thank you, Ed. And so it took a minute. I'll get it up there. Oh, you mean Ed's 153.5? I think he posted it. Yeah, he was high centered real good. Those rear wheels were drooping. There wasn't much supporting them. But it's just a thing. Even any of us, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. You got to kind of block everybody out and get the job done. Sometimes you can't allow yourself to be distracted, especially when you're on track. When you're on track, absolutely tantamount that you can't allow yourself to be distracted. So, see what else. Talked about muffler. Talked a little bit about the track day. We will have the video coming out with everybody's feedback on the car. Dive planes. A little bit on Hashi.
Oh, you did?
Have we talked about Hashi at all?
Not on the live.
You got a picture of Hashi? No? I put it up on Instagram.
Yeah, they know.
Yeah, so
That's not.
we'll leave that. We'll leave that. Doug, I think you did have a 151. 1:51. 1 of something and 51 of something else. I understand what you're saying there. So this, for those of you that are curious about the Aero on the 4RS. So we've already got the very first one sold. Local customer. He is going to be our local lab rat when we are no longer in need of our 4RS, and he will stick around and have his. Thank you, John, for that. His MCS are being installed, I think, first part of next week, if not already started, which is great. We'll get him settings to Jacob. Jacob will get all that dialed in. I shred the video. Yes, you did. And he's going to get the Aero as the next thing and probably get exhaust after that. So, which is great. The way that we went about the 4RS Aero in the front is the air curtain on the 4RS stock has 4 holes in the bumper. That's the word I'm looking for, bumper. And the in order to put the dive planes on and make it look normal, we had to either use those holes or cover them up. So, since we have to use the holes, we decided to just make the dive planes a little bigger and make it so that it's impossible for them to ever come off if you don't want them to. So, the dive planes, go back to the dive plane picture if you would, please. Dive planes will come not with steel bolts like this. They will be carbon in one piece with carbon studs on them so that you just put nuts on the inside of the fender. Nice clean look. The GT4 version, which this Aero bolts directly to a GT4, 718 GT4 and a 718 GT4RS, the same. Thank you, Ed. The 718 GT4 version will not have those 4 holes. They will be just like our others with 3M VHT adhesive that you can apply directly to the car. And I'm really trying not to look at the pictures on here and of myself, and I'm really going to try and look at the camera. So heckle me when I don't look at the camera. That's good feedback for me. Public humiliation is a very strong motivator for an extrovert. So just, But don't troll me, because I'll freaking rip your ass a new hole. Or something like that. I don't know. That sounded bad. That sounded really bad. Damn. It's not like that. But. More whiskey. So, the splitter is one piece. It has end fences that you can see there. The rear air curtain outlet will be in carbon. None of that will be in plastic. There will be a plastic lip option. You can see in between the bumper and the splitter edge that it is plastic. That's all 3D printed. The nice thing is we figured out a way. Charles and I batted this around a bit, like two little kitty cats and a yarn ball. Give you some pretty pictures to think about. A way that we could make this as modular as possible, and to get guys that just wanted dive planes and maybe a carbon lip for their 718 GT4 or their 4RS. They weren't quite ready for the splitter. They didn't want the big wing, you know, whatever the case might be. So that they had an opportunity to get what we'll call stage one. Stage one is going to be the carbon lip with the dive planes and the new outlet. And you'll be able to easily upgrade to the splitter by only getting those two side pieces you see there with the, can you move it just a little bit past where my picture-in-picture is so you can see the seam? There you go. That corner piece there where you see the line in it, that's going to move it. That section is going to be replaceable between the stock lip in carbon and the splitter lip. So you won't have to buy a whole new one. So that's nice. Let's see. We'll get back to some feedback on the 4RS from before and after the modifications. So I drove the car before. It was lively. It was not very confidence inspiring. The after, quite frankly, the only thing I was fighting was dying front tires, because we didn't change front tires, because it was a chicane day, because it was, you know, because we've got new tires. We'll put new tires on it. We've got some 19-inch that are coming that we'll put Supercar 3Rs on it by August 3rd. So that's going to be kind of the day that we do the post go fast laps, because that's a 45-minute sessions, private day, Dundon invite only. Anyone who's out there that's interested, that has the requisite experience and isn't an asshat. Most of these guys who are my friends, I would sometimes consider asshats, but they're good asshats, so you guys can come. The rest of you whom I may not know yet, friends that I may not have met yet, please reach out and let me know if you're interested to go, if you're local. I've had a couple guys reach out that I have not been on track with that I'm excited to meet. They came recommended by mutual friends that I respect their driving ability, and so we should have a good time. I think we're up to almost 20 between the two groups, between the race car group and the street car group. Race cars are welcome in the street car group. No open wheel guys. We're going to do these every month, even through the winter. So we should have a great curricula to be able to enjoy in the winter and to enhance your car control skills. And maybe if you want to start going racing, then Gamma and the Racer on Rail guys that we've partnered with to put these days on will be a good next step for you. They're great crew. They go all over the country. I know a number of the guys in our track group enjoy racing with them and having them support their racing endeavors all around the world. So little plug for Racer on Rails. Christian got out of the car after I made some tweaks after the first session. He went on the second session. Christian went 151.5. I went 154 in the car. And again, this is chicane day. So I literally had one session and 2 laps in the car before I had to bail. So I didn't get a lot of time to even figure out how to drive the damn track. But I felt pretty good at 154. Everybody else got the car after the front tires were a little shot, honestly. The car wasn't gripping much in the front, mainly because the tires are gone. But even then, Paul threw down a 154.017, something like that. This is actually kind of funny. I've never put a lap down that was 0.000. So I went 154.0.000. So that was kind of cool. Never done that before. Would love for it to have been to a 151.317 or whatever the fuck. Yeah, lower is better, but another day. Another time. Yeah, that's a story for another day. Paul did a great job in the car. Everybody, Doug did a great job in the car. Everybody got out of the car and they're like, now this car is a whole lot of fun. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to provide, right? Yes, we can make the car faster. Yes, we can make the envelope bigger. Yes, we can. The aero parts give almost 4 times the downforce of the stock car. It's 220 pounds for the car stock. We're well over 800, depending on where you put the wing. How we had it configured, it would have been north of 880, maybe 900 pounds, all told on the car. So once we get some fresh tires on it, get a track that, at least I have some confidence in, and or one of the pros jump in, the car should go pretty deep into the low 140s, I expect. If not, dare I say high 130s, depending on the tires and the driver. Can you go over prices for these items? For the 4RS Aero, we haven't released pricing yet, mainly because we don't know what the carbon lip is going to cost, nor the carbon dive planes. But if you go on our website and you look at the 992 GT3 full aero kit, it's going to be in that ballpark. It should be, I'm going to hand wavy that. The splitter's probably going to be between 8 and 9 for the splitter and the lip. Dive planes in the $1,200 range, and the wing is like 7 to 8, something like that. The wing, we're finishing up the carbon uprights, so the wing will be 100% carbon. So the uprights are carbon, the wing is carbon, the end plates are carbon. The only things that are not carbon are the hangers and the bolts that are holding the wing onto the car. So I was chastised on Facebook about a carbon reinforcement that Manthe uses, and I want you guys to understand, just because Manthe does a thing does not mean that it's necessary. It means that it's there sometimes to confuse you, because they didn't reinforce the 992 GT3 at all. No, unfair. They did. They glued a plastic bit onto underneath the factory uprights, versus what we did was reinforce the entire substructure with 3D machined parts to make sure that the wing is supported in its entirety by chassis substructure, not any of the sheet metal on the side of the car. So the presumption that we don't know what we're doing really always kind of gets my rankle up. So I was accused of having a, quote, dick tone on Facebook, and that's when I just decided I was not going to engage with said Facebook keyboard warrior asshat. So, asshat, if you're listening, yes, I also called you an asshat. So, yeah, you can turn off the YouTube if you don't like it. That's fine. And yes, I did share this with all of my track buddies, and Christian gave me the coaching that I need to have a lot of patience with people, and I need to, if I'm going to be that customer service guy, that I need to find ways to end things with a smile on people's face. And that's true if we're, I don't know, a Fortune 500 $50 billion company. I'll come back to that, Larry. This is something that we heckled somebody on Instagram for, but it's good to discuss. Larry wrote, and some of you are going to read this, the 4 non-RS uses black plastic parts rather than carbon. Come back to that after I finish my asshat story, because, I like talking about this is catharsis for me. This is a bit like therapy. I get to vomit all over y'all and tell you about my week and my bad day, and some guy called me a name and my feelings were hurt. And I have to share with all of you. drink some more. It happens a lot in our industry that we're held to this strange standard where if somebody has drank, quote, the other guy's Kool-Aid, sometimes we're the other guy, and that's fine, then everybody else is wrong. It seems really myopic, because it's not true. If somebody has run a successful business and they have customers who are happy, then they're obviously doing something right. And Manti, yeah, try to hire the Wendy's content manager. Seriously, Roger, that was a good comment. Well, all my buddies, some of these comments, they've already heard this story, and they've already given me coaching and heckled me a little bit about it. It's like, you can do better, Jamie. You don't have to call him a dick. I was like, I didn't call him a dick. I was nice. On Facebook. I gave him facts. I didn't have a tone. Maybe a little bit of tone. Maybe one thing I said set him off, because essentially what the question was, he had a question, did you reinforce this? And then he answered the question by saying, I see you didn't, or how the fuck did it go? Did you reinforce it? Why didn't you reinforce it? Something like that. And I'm like, well, you kind of just answered your question with, I said assumption, and then I was summarily corrected. Maybe we should do some yoga on the next London day. I'm mellow. I'm fine. I just relay it. It's catharsis, and I let it go. My wife doesn't allow me to share these things anymore. She gets way more bent out of shape than I did. And I posted this on the thread, so if I'm saying anything out of turn, I just said, I can see that not only did you ask the question, you answered it, so it's kind of funny that you're answering it with an assumption. Something like that. Love the fact that you're answering your own question with an assumption. I think that's what I said. Something like that. And then he corrected me that technically it was a presumption. Ah, got it. Okay. I'm playing with a lawyer. Check. Gotcha. Or a grammar Nazi. One of the two. I'm not sure. I'm an engineer. English is my third language. I talk numbers. Let's talk numbers. Yes, I do need to go on longer rides. And I can tell that from the comments, everybody's tired of listening to me bitch about this asshat, so we're going to move on. Larry had a good question about will the 4 no RS use black plastic parts rather than carbon? For the lip, plastic will be an option. Yes, you can get 3D printed parts. We will offer both. The dive planes will be only in carbon because 3D printing them is actually more expensive than making them and offering them to you in carbon. The splitter will be carbon. Only carbon. Only ever carbon. And the reason why it's only ever carbon is it's a structural piece. It has to be strong. And if I make it out of plastic, it's not going to be strong. And I'm pretty sure Larry doesn't mean the actual splitter, make it out of plastic. But someone alluded to on Instagram, again, Cayman guy, wanted a cheap plastic version of it. And there are other guys that make that. And you're welcome to buy cheap plastic parts for your $200,000 car somewhere else. We're not going to do that. We're going to make shit that's going to last a long time. It's going to work really well, and you're not going to have any problems with it. So, there you go. Bit of a lead in. Yep, I'm coming. Will the new 991 deck lid incorporate chassis reinforcement for the swan neck wing setup? Manual obsession, yes. And it will be identical to what is already the chassis reinforcement on the 991 RS, what we call our chassis lock. We designed a way to tie in the wing upright with a pin to a machined piece that is bolted to the chassis that holds the wing and the upright from trying to rotate off the car. The down is fine. That's all supported through all of the existing deck lid struts and all the rest of the stuff. Issue with the swan neck wing. Can you bring up the swan neck wing pic again? Doesn't matter. If you got one on Ed's car on the trailer, that's fine. I can double dip with that picture. The one you have on the screen over here. Or the one you took. Yep.
Oh, yeah. The one that I took is in general.
We're working on a pic for you guys so I can explain this a little bit more. So, in essence, what happens is the swan neck goes up and back, and the wing sits back here. So there's a moment on engineering term. There is a force and a distance to where the force is being applied. And so there is some force that goes down. There is also a component of the force that is going to want to rotate about that point. You know, kind of like when you're cranking on a bicycle pedal. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. So you can see how even on the 4RS there is where the wing mounts and then where the wing sits. There, if you press down on the wing, it's going to want to pull the leading edge of. You can actually make, if you zoom in on Ed's car, you can see the chassis lock. There you go. You see that little dot in kind of the front corner? That's the chassis lock. So that is a machine piece that comes up, and we secure the entire thing to the chassis directly. So long-winded explanation for simple yes. There you go. Looks like we got some more comments down below between Oris's. Hey, there we go. My name is Ed, and I'm a Dundonaholic. Woohoo! Any wheel air discs available? So aero discs are an interesting phenomenon, and good on Manthe for creating a market for bullshit. I'll say that. So we've talked to our CFD guy, and there's a reason you don't see these on cup cars or an RSR or a GT3R, because they kind of don't do much. Yes, I'll explain how the titanium inserts in the time muffler work here in a second, Ben. So they're really more like brake coolers than they are an aerodynamic device. The aero discs that you're seeing pervade on a number of folks. Could they reduce drag on the rear wheel? Yes, could. Will they appreciably change your top speed in the car? Not likely. Not likely. So, I'll put it to you this way. It's not a difference that we can see easily in CFD. So if you can't see it easily in CFD, that means it's very subtle. Doesn't mean that it isn't possible that it's doing something. It just means that it's pretty subtle. And I'm not going to invest in wind tunnel time to test them. I may make them so that they're shiny and carbon and pretty, but that's probably about it. Probably about it. Caleb, you coming back up here?
I am now.
Do we have any? Can you bring a tie muffler and a set of tie insert or loud inserts if we have some?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm gonna pour myself a little bit more. What are you guys drinking? It's Friday. Beautiful. I wanted to thank Doug. Public shout out. Doug is my bike guru. So Doug built me an open UP, which is a gravel bike, and I have been slowly progressing in my bikey-dom. BS. Feelings towards BS. Yeah, I'll tell you whatever you need to know. What's BS? What are we talking about? But I'm going to keep talking about bikes for a second. So Dougie is building me a Yeti SB130, which I'm really excited about. Mountain bike, like a modern mountain bike. I had a Epic Comp from 10 years ago that literally had no dirt on it because I never went anywhere on it until recently. Earlier this spring, I finally got out mountain biking. So I'm very excited to get out and continue biking and putting some of this, as Mike alluded to, going out for a longer bike ride. So I'll shut the fuck up about asshats on social media. There you go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about construction because we had a good question about it. I'm going to hold this up. This is our titanium ultralight muffler, 9 pounds. I don't know if we can see inside here. Maybe I'll get a little closer. All right, I'm coming in. Is this going to focus or no?
Should. Yep, there you go. Back.
I need a light. We got a flashlight?
Flashlight.
I have the technology. Give me 1 second. Flashlight. Okay. So Vin, do you see this gap there between the edge of this comes into this hole, stops about, I don't know, maybe half an inch inside of there, and then the gases are going to expand into the full volume, and then the flow is going to go into that pipe. So the way the loud inserts work, get down here, there we go. Loud inserts work is we essentially put these in here, and I don't want to slide it in there, but they do go in, and it caps the, takes away that initial expansion, so that you get, in essence, a titanium crack pipe without having to have a crack pipe. So hopefully that explains it. We've got other images if we want. This is a picture of a quiet muffler. You can see the expansion and the scallops on the inside. The titanium is holes because making those scallops from titanium, it doesn't like it. So yeah. All right. What else we got? We'll leave this up here. Oh, and we got to wipe this down. One thing about when you get a muffler like this and you install it, either Inconel or titanium, you want that pretty rainbow oxidation to come in. Make sure that you wipe it down really well with alcohol or some other degreaser, so that, yeah, I know. So you get all the fingerprints off of it so that you don't oxidize a fingerprint into your titanium muffler, because then you got to strip all the pretty blue oxide back off and start over. So yeah, helpful hint. Back this up a little bit because it is so pretty. Look at my tips. What else we got? Oh yeah, let's put Ed's picture up. Let's talk about that. All right, so we're gonna zoom out slowly on this. This is Ed's poor GT3RS playing 4x4 Jeep action, and then go down. Oh no, wah wah wah. This is really kind of sad, but it was rescued. He was able to go the whole day and turned lemon into lemonade by the end of the day. He had a great time, learned some things about a suspension, and car go fast, and Ed go fast, which is, at the end of the day, why we do this. So, I'll try and put up some stuff, some funny anecdotes. We had Roger, he's been riding his cup car lately, the 997 with the Dundon livery on it. So Roger's been driving that, and he came up to me. He's like, "What's it like going from a race car back to a street car?" I was like, "Slow. Slow is the right word." But he got to drive the 4RS, except he went out in B group, which is intermediate. And when you're kind of used to race pace, A pace, let's just say he got frustrated. Oh, come on! Great. I'm gonna make a shirt out of that. It's gonna be Roger's helmeted head inside the car with a little. Oh, there he is. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. Justin coming in clutch with the good pictures of the bong cup. Summary: GT4RS goes really fucking fast with our shit on it. You should buy it. The muffler sounds fantastic. We got to finish making it. Don't be an asshat and troll me on social media, or I'll talk about it for years and years and years, and cry myself to sleep, and drink more alcohol. So be nice to me. And bikes are cool. There you go. Good talk. I think this is this Kevin chasing me? Is that a C8 Vet behind? Was that me in there? I think that was me. You saw my helmet? Yeah, using shitty lines going through all those turns. No tire. Jump in the car. Yeah, I think that is the Kevin and the C8 Vet. So that's Mick. That's a question that probably should not be on a social media channel because that's legal now. But I don't know. I honestly don't know where his nickname came from. I can assume maybe Roger will share one day, but I don't know. I don't know. So it's Turbo Bong. You don't know. So some things should be left to the imagination. I don't know. Also, big kudos to Novin for being the lone soldier in the 997 in the advanced group, rowing his own gears and hanging with all the PDK DFI cars. So hopefully we can get him to join the dark side and park that already classic worth way too much money and get a proper race car, which would be fun. Yeah, oh yeah, that one. It's such a pretty car. Oh my God, so pretty. Sounds bonkers, goes fast. I mean, fucking A. I don't think there's anything you need to Google Bong Bong Marcos. Yeah, we got to do that now. What's Bong Bong Marcos? I know Roger's great at this shit. We're gonna go down another rabbit hole for a minute, but it's fun. I got another question from Sean Liner. I'll get to that. I was going down a place. 997. I think honestly, if there was one car that I could have and never have another one, it would be a 997 GT3RS, either .1 or .2.
Bong Marcos is the president of the Philippines.
There you go.
His name is Bong Marcos.
There you go. Roger is Filipino. Encarnacion was not a clue enough. It's a reference to his culture and heritage. Absolutely. It is not a marijuana reference. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Sean Liner has a question. How does your aero on street cars compare to aero on cup cars? That is a very good question, and we have done that data. So cup cars. Best way to explain what a cup car is, and I'll get a little bit closer to the mic, sorry about that. They're like really expensive spec Miatas. It's probably the best way to explain what a cup car is. Cup car is a driver series name. Sorry, I read name and I said name. It is a driver training series so that you can understand who the good drivers are when you put them all in a car that is relatively difficult to drive. So that's what a cup car is. They save all the goodies for the GT3R and the RSR. So, for instance, a cup car does not have any front aero. It has a really big air dam, does not have a splitter. GT3R has a splitter and dive planes and a whole bunch of shit. RSR has wicked front aero, very cool stuff, etc., etc. So, our aero, just our wing, which is much smaller than the width-wise than the cup car wing, produces 30% more downforce and half the drag. So that's what they use in sailing terms. One design, indeed. That's a good explanation. Go out in a spec car. You all get the same equipment. Go race. Supposedly like Formula One, which we all know is bullshit right now, but that's fine. Different story. Or NASCAR, same shit. There's still engineering and shenanigans that go on in that. And not to say that you can't engineer a cup car different than your competitor and make your car faster than theirs. You absolutely can. That's what scrutineers are for, and trying to see where things, ride height, stipulations and rake stipulations and spring limitations. That's where the rule book comes. And if you're not cheating in racing, you're not trying. So there you go. The aero on a cup is adequate. It is not tailored. It's like buying off the rack versus something designed specific for you. So we're designing things that are specific for the car. The splitters, for economics sake, are the same, but they are all tailored for the shape of a Porsche, because I mean, let's be serious. A 911 has generally had the same shape for like 30 years. A 981 generally has the same shape as a 911 as far as the air is concerned. Do they all have their own little bit of nuance? Absolutely. Are they enough different to make completely different aerodynamic packages for them? Not really. Not really. It's more about let's find the most efficient methods to extract the downforce that we're looking for from the car, package it in an appealing, non-permanent modifying of the car way. There's a lot of hyphens in that. So that you can bolt it on, take it off, put the factory stuff back on. No one knows that the car ever went to the track. It was really only went to Cars and Coffee and only driven on Sundays in the sunshine, never in the rain, because we know Porsches melt when they're driven in the rain. Yeah. Appreciate that, Ed. Ed says, I really love the combination of driving tips, Dundon sauce, and setup got my car to stick to the track better as the day got hotter. It really got hot yesterday, so the fact that he went 153.5 at the very end of the day, that's pretty legit. Pretty legit. Sean, as far as what we're doing on the Cup cars, we already sell Aero to Cup cars and Club Sports. A number of teams already run them if it's within the rules for them to run it. I keep looking at the fucking screen, not at the camera. So I'm bad talent. This talent needs to get fired. Jesus Christ. We are building a full Aero setup for the Cup. It is the very next thing that Charles is working on. For the lip, for the splitter, and our aerodynamic design partner, Zebulon. We're actually going to use one of his dual element wings for the Cup car versus redesigning our Valkyrie wing, which a dual element wing for a street car would be way too fucking much wing, honestly, just way too much. What we've got is bee's knees perfect. We haven't had to run the wing higher than 8. It goes to 14, 8 degrees. Sorry, that's an unqualified number is not helpful. 8 what? 8 parsecs? $8? 8 drinks of whiskey? What are we counting here? What else? I've had a lot of draft orders go out lately for GT4RS, 992 GT4RS exhaust. I was thinking about this. It's like, wow, there was a big drought for a long time. Nobody talking about nothing. And then literally, I think I've sent out 20 plus draft order is like a quote. For guys, hey, got a car, it needs to sound good, yada, yada, yada. Like just this week, bang, 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 bang. And I'm like, huh. I think a big ship full of RSs probably landed. And then they probably landed about 3.5 weeks ago. Cars got delivered. Cars are getting through PPF. Now everybody needs some noise. So let's talk briefly for any of y'all who might see this that have a 992 GT4RS. We're going to talk about what I go through every time we're on the phone with folks. There are 2 camps in exhaust land. There is hooligans like the kind of gray, black with red 992RS that you'll see on our Instagram channel. That is Street Headers Mini Crack. That is for the boys that don't give a shit, don't have kids, don't have a wife. They do have a wife. The car lives not at home, lives somewhere else. They drive it. They go out. They make noise. They have a good time with their buddies. Killer. Fantastic. And then we got fellas that need that duality, like this guy. This is good for have your cake and eat it too. So screams when you want it to, but is quiet when you don't have your foot in it. So there's a reference to a your Porsche is going to be so happy, word up. There's a reference to a song, something along the lines a lady in the street and a freak in the bed, but something like that is what you get when you do Street Headers and Time Muffler, or Lifetime Muffler for that matter. You keep a muffler on the car. You don't have drone, because drone is controlled by the valves having an ability to redirect the flow to something that's going to change the frequency. The only way you can change the frequency so that it doesn't resonate with the cabin is you need a longer length tube or a whole volume to act as a resonator. If it's just another tube, it can't change the frequency, so therefore it's still going to resonate in the cabin. So, Alexander Lafreniere, I will answer that question in a second. We've actually done data for data, and our stuff has less drag than the 992 3RS when the DRS is not activated and the wing's actually engaged, and more downforce than a 3RS because we have a full working splitter. We have not had the opportunity to run a 3RS on track versus one of our 992 GT3s with all of our stuff on it yet. Probably will happen at some point this year. So as far as exhausts on your 992 GT3, your 992 GT3RS, thank you, Justin. You keep valves, you get your cake and you eat it too. You don't have check engine lights, you don't have issues, you don't have this, you don't have that, you're good to go. So in that regard, I think everybody who's and Doug's gonna make me tear up a minute. He's saying he's giving me that bike, which that's not happening. It's not happening. You're being compensated for all your because friends don't let friends give them shit. But I appreciate that, and it is the gift goes not unnoticed. Thank you, brother. Yeah, enough on this. I'm sure everybody that actually has a question isn't watching right now, but maybe they will one day and see this, and we'll build our. And I loved this, so I'm gonna tell this anecdote, and Alex is gonna see this, and he's gonna hate me, but it's okay because it's funny. So we hired a gentleman from Ukraine living in Spain. He is now leading up our marketing efforts, so SEO and website, and you guys are going to see a number of changes roll out. Website's going to change probably by the end of the month, and a number of other things are going to happen. So we're talking to him about doing an FAQ, a frequently asked questions area of the website. Also, it's good for Google to see FAQs, people ask questions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ted, myself, and Alex are all on the call, and we keep hearing Alex say "fuck you." I'm like, what? And I was like, it took a half a second. It didn't take minutes. It was like, oh, FAQ, a fuck you. I was like, I kind of like that. It sounds like a derogatory thing you might say to somebody when they're not listening to you. So, call them fuck yous. So, there you go. I'll leave you with that. Anybody else got anything else for me? We're coming up 6 o'clock. I got some steaks to grill. It is a beautiful Northwest evening, and I'm excited for what the hell we got going on. This is some cool shit. Track days are always great days to get with your car buddies, get it reinvigorated, squeeze that energy together, and throw it at cool new parts that we can make for y'all. Hopefully y'all had a wonderful week. And if you didn't, then go out and do something fun over the weekend so you can have a wonderful week next week. Because being cranky and bitchy and all that stuff is not a good state to be in. We play with cool race cars all the time. What can be wrong with that? So anywho, thanks for listening to me banter and go on and on. Have a drink. It's on me. Cheers. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.